Hey there, my friend. Have you ever found yourself lying awake at night, staring at the ceiling, quietly wondering, is the happiness I once felt in my marriage just a distant memory? If that question has ever crossed your heart, please know you are not alone. But let me gently offer you this truth. It's never too late to rediscover joy, connection, and intimacy. Some of life's most profound lessons don't arrive in our youth. They whisper to us midway through the journey, just when we need them most. One of those truths is this: real intimacy, the kind that nourishes the soul, isn't merely about physical closeness. It's about emotional depth, mutual respect, and a love that sees and honors the whole of who you are. True love doesn't demand, it invites. And genuine connection doesn't start in the bedroom. It begins with how tenderly and truthfully you love yourself. This video isn't just a list of tips for rekindling romance. It's a heartfelt conversation, a warm reminder that you are still worthy of deep affection and lasting joy. You still carry within you the power to be vibrant, radiant, and fully alive at any age. Most importantly, you are not walking this path alone. So let's take a few gentle steps together through 5 powerful insights, lessons that many women only uncover later in life. But once they do, everything begins to shift, and often for the better. Lesson 1. Sacred intimacy is the gateway to lasting joy. Intimacy, true intimacy, is not just a physical act. It's a sacred dance between two souls. It is a profound, unspoken language of love, respect, and unity. When shared with presence, tenderness, and integrity, intimacy transforms from mere physical connection into a spiritual bond that nurtures both partners on the deepest emotional level. It becomes a place of safety, where hearts are seen, honored, and held. It fosters trust, emotional peace, and a sense of belonging that resonates far beyond the walls of the bedroom. But when intimacy is approached without care, when it becomes transactional, selfish, or neglected, it can quietly erode the very foundation of a relationship. It breeds silence, resentment, and invisible wounds, and the effects ripple outward. In more households than we realize, emotional disconnection behind closed doors has led to more than marital strife. It has quietly strained careers, disrupted finances, and shaken the harmony of entire families. You might not notice it at first, but over time, the energy exchanged in moments of closeness, or in the absence of them, seeps into every part of life. Some cultures hold a beautiful belief that when a couple lives with love, mutual respect, and sacred connection, they don't just bless their own lives, they create ripples of healing and fortune for generations to come. Conversely, a home where emotional neglect, disconnection, or silent suffering exist may look fine from the outside, but can slowly drain the vitality from everyone within it. This isn't about fear, it's about awareness. Because when intimacy is rooted in love, understanding, and honor, it becomes a steady pillar, one that supports lifelong happiness, emotional fulfillment, and deep partnership. It allows a woman to feel truly cherished. It gives a man a sense of grounding and purpose. And perhaps most importantly, it reminds both people that they are not just lovers. They are teammates, soul friends, caretakers, and guardians of something sacred. So let us reclaim intimacy as a space of healing, not harm. Because the truest closeness doesn't end when the lights go out. It stays in the heart and radiates into every part of life. And that brings us to lesson 2. Because before we can offer sacred intimacy to another, we must first return home to ourselves. Lesson 2. When you love yourself. First, everything begins to shift. Far too many women have spent years, even decades, pouring themselves into others. They've given endlessly, served selflessly, and carried entire households on their shoulders. And somewhere along the way, they've forgotten someone sacred themselves. You are not just a wife, you are not only a mother, you are a radiant, multifaceted human being, a woman with dreams, desires, emotions, and a soul that longs to be seen, heard, and cherished. Self-love isn't a cliché or a passing trend. It is a quiet revolution. It's the moment you catch your own reflection and smile. Not because you've met some impossible standard of beauty, but because you've begun to recognize your own wholeness. Loving yourself is not selfish. It's sacred. When you begin treating your body with kindness, honoring every curve, every scar, every breath, something ancient and powerful awakens within you. You start to feel alive again. Your heart softens, your spirit opens, and joy becomes something you no longer chase. It becomes something you embody. That kind of energy is magnetic. It draws respect. It invites tenderness. It gently teaches others how to treat you, and it not through demands, but through your own example. Because when a woman loves herself deeply and unapologetically, she becomes a mirror of what love is supposed to look like. And that reflection helps her partner see her more clearly, not just as a role, but as a soul. So don't wait for someone else to give you the love you deserve. Begin today, even in the smallest way. Wrap yourself in softness. Speak to yourself the way you would a beloved friend. Nourish your body. Honor your rest. Celebrate your essence. Whisper to yourself, I see you. I thank you. I love you. Because from that place of fullness, intimacy is no longer a duty. It becomes a sacred offering, a gift, a dance, a homecoming. And with that inner light glowing brighter, we now step forward into Lesson 3. Lesson 3. Communication in love isn't about talking more, it's about connecting deeper. In so many homes, couples lie side by side each night, yet feel miles apart. Not because the love is gone, but because the connection has grown quiet. They've forgotten how to speak, not with words, but with the heart. We often confuse communication with correction, explaining our frustrations, pointing out what's wrong, asking for change. But real connection doesn't start with fixing. It starts with presence, with how you look at each other, how you listen, and how you simply show up with your full, open-hearted self. The truth is, your words carry energy, and when you speak with softness, with sincerity, and with care, your voice becomes a healing balm, one that can reach even the parts of your partner that have grown quiet from years of silence. Try this gentle shift. Instead of saying, "You never care about me," try, "I miss the way we used to laugh together." Instead of asking, "Why don't you ever help me?" try, "I feel so loved when we do things side by side." See the difference? You're not blaming. You're not correcting. You're inviting. Let your tone be warm. Let your face soften. Speak as if you're talking to the person you once fell deeply in love with, because that person is still there, beneath the layers of stress, routine, and life's weight. Sometimes connection isn't built in big conversations. It's found in quiet moments of kindness, a shared meal savored with gratitude, a simple thank you spoken at just the right moment, a hand reached out not to demand but to hold. Even the hardest hearts begin to soften when they feel safe, seen, and spoken to with love. So ask yourself, am I speaking to be right, or am I speaking to connect? Because when your words are rooted in love, they don't just land in the ears, they reach the heart. Now, with more compassion in our voice and more openness in our heart, let's move into Lesson 4. Lesson 4. True desire doesn't come from looks, it comes from aliveness. So many women quietly carry the question, what if I'm no longer attractive to him? But here's the beautiful truth, my friend. Real desire, lasting desire, doesn't come from flawless skin or a number on a scale. It doesn't live in magazine covers or movie screens. It comes from aliveness, from the energy that pulses through you when you feel safe, free, and fully yourself. Attraction isn't about perfection. It's about presence. It's in the way your eyes sparkle when you feel confident. It's in the way your body moves when it's not trying to please but simply enjoying its own rhythm. It's in your laughter, your ease, your radiance, and none of that requires youth. Only aliveness. When a woman feels loved, nourished, and connected to her own joy, she becomes magnetic, not because of her makeup or her clothing, but because her spirit glows. There is nothing more attractive than a woman who feels good in her own skin. So let's start gently. Put on that perfume that once made you feel sensual and alive. Play music that stirs something in your hips, your heart, your soul. Speak to your body in the mirror with tenderness, not critique. Let yourself enjoy food, touch, rest, and pleasure, without guilt, without apology. Because desire isn't something you give to your partner. It's something you awaken within yourself. And when that inner flame is lit, it radiates outward. It softens the space between you. It draws your partner in, not because you're trying harder, but because you're finally honoring your own light. That's the quiet secret no one tells you. When you feel alive, vibrant, and at home in your body, intimacy deepens effortlessly. He may not even realize what's changed, only that he feels closer, more drawn to you, and more in love. Now let's continue walking this gentle journey and step together into Lesson 5. Lesson 5, Emotional Connection, is the real foreplay. Let's be honest, you can try every technique, read every article, and still feel like something's missing if your heart feels distant from the one you love. That's because true intimacy doesn't begin in the bedroom. It begins in the quiet moments long before any touch. It starts with presence, with genuine eye contact, with a soft "how was your day?" and truly listening to the answer. So many women are not simply moved by touch. We are moved by feeling seen, heard, and valued. That's what opens the heart. A shared laugh, a warm embrace, a quiet cup of tea after a long day. These are not small things. They are the sacred threads of emotional intimacy. And emotional safety, more than anything else, is the most powerful aphrodisiac there is. So if you're yearning for deeper intimacy, don't begin with your body. Begin with your presence. Be emotionally available. Be gentle with her feelings. Tell her you love her not just in grand moments, but in the middle of the ordinary ones. Because for many women, trust is the door through which desire enters. When she feels emotionally held, her body responds with openness and warmth, not out of obligation, but from genuine connection. And the same is true for you, dear friend. You also deserve to feel emotionally nourished, not just physically wanted. You deserve affection that begins in the heart and radiates outward. True intimacy isn't built by accident. It's a garden we tend each day, with attention, compassion, and love. These 5 sacred lessons remind us that as we grow older, love changes, but it also deepens. We begin to see that true intimacy was never just about the body. It was always about the soul. Sacred intimacy, when nurtured with respect and care, becomes the bedrock of peace, trust, and emotional fulfillment. We learn that loving ourselves isn't selfish, it's essential. A woman who knows her own worth, her own needs, and her own voice becomes not only more confident, but more deeply loved. We remember that desire isn't something to chase, it's something we awaken by reconnecting with our joy, our body, and our aliveness. We discover that communication isn't about being right, it's about being real. And that sometimes it's the smallest gestures, a smile, a gentle touch, a quiet thank you, that create the strongest bonds. Because love that is rooted in kindness, awareness, and mutual respect doesn't fade with age. It blossoms. It grows wiser, more beautiful, more healing than ever before. So if you're still here with us, take a deep, quiet breath. Let it be a reminder. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. And it is not too late to feel joy, love, and deep connection again. Life doesn't always follow the script we hoped for, but that doesn't mean the best chapters are behind you. Often, they're just waiting to be written, with more grace, softness, and wisdom than ever before. You deserve to be seen. You deserve to be cherished. And most of all, you deserve to feel at peace, in your body, in your home, and in your heart. If this message brought even a little warmth to your spirit, subscribe to our channel. We're here for you, sharing heartfelt wisdom to help us all live better, love deeper, and walk through aging with grace. And if there's someone in your life who needs this message, share it with them. Sometimes a gentle reminder is all it takes. From our heart to yours, thank you for being here. Let's keep growing together.